The movie begins with Jay, despite being born into wealth, opting to live independently in Los Angeles due to strained relations with his family, especially his father. However, his life takes a downward spiral as he falls into a gambling addiction and accumulates debt. Eventually, he finds himself working as a janitor at a mental hospital. One day, Jay encounters Vincent, a loan shark, who demands repayment of his debt by Friday or else he'll face dire consequences. Desperate, Jay tries to borrow money from a coworker, but to no avail. Instead, he receives advice to attend his younger brother Jerry's wedding and ask his father for money. Jay decides to follow this suggestion and informs his parents that he's returning home to New Orleans. Upon hearing about Jay's supposed success as an administrator at a mental hospital and his relationship with a nurse, his father insists that Jay bring his partner along, leading Jay to comply reluctantly. Due to his deceitful nature, Jay attempted to woo the nurses at his workplace, but his reputation as a gambling drunkard preceded him, leaving him unsuccessful in his pursuits. He found himself reprimanded by Dr. Berlin for inappropriate behavior with the patient and was warned against further interactions with them. Meanwhile, a new patient named Daisy, haunted by the loss of her mother, required admission to the hospital. During Jay's encounter with Daisy, he intervened when another patient posed as a doctor and attempted to harm her. After ensuring her safety, Jay urged Daisy to be cautious and left the hospital. However, Daisy insisted on following him, prompting Jay to reluctantly allow her to accompany him. At a club, Jay's attempts to find a fake girlfriend for his brother's wedding failed, leading him to ask Daisy to pose as his partner. The following day, Jay took Daisy to New Orleans, where he urged her to pretend to be a nurse at his workplace. Despite Daisy's confusion, she complied. However, her erratic behavior on the plane, including disturbing other passengers and attempting to upgrade her seat without permission, caused further trouble. Upon arriving at his parents' house, Jay introduced Daisy to his mother, who advised her to rest before dinner in the guest room. Meanwhile, Jay stepped outside for a smoke break, where his father joined in for a chat. During their conversation, his father proudly showcased his collection of cars in the garage, including a rare recent purchase. At dinner, Jerry inquired about Jay's occupation, prompting Jay to fabricate a story about working as an administrator at a prominent mental hospital. Daisy couldn't contain her amusement, but Jay continued, mentioning plans for a new business venture requiring additional capital. Although skeptical, Jay's father eventually agreed to lend him money, thanks in part to Daisy's persuasive input, for which Jay expressed gratitude. The following morning, Jay's mother woke him, revealing Daisy's unusual behavior of cleaning the bathroom. Jay approached Daisy, questioning her actions, to which she explained that it was a habit instilled by her late mother, emphasizing that chores equaled affection. Abruptly, Daisy confessed to having killed her mother, leaving Jay stunned. Moments later, before the wedding ceremony, Jay's mother spotted Daisy in a revealing dress and insisted she change into one from her wardrobe, stirring Jay's emotions upon seeing Daisy's transformation. As the ceremony commenced that evening, Daisy surprised Jay yet again by kneeling and picking up flowers deliberately scattered along the aisle, adding another layer of intrigue to their tumultuous interaction. Following the incident at the wedding, Jay intervened to prevent Daisy from further embarrassment. Subsequently, Daisy mingled with the wedding guests, where rumors and derogatory remarks about Jay circulated among them, branding him as a womanizer and heavy drinker. Eventually, Daisy approached Jay and suggested they dance together, leading them to the ballroom, where they danced energetically. However, their dance was interrupted when Jay's mother intervened and took him away, leaving Daisy to dance with Jay's father. During their dance, Jay's father probed Daisy about Jay's true occupation, but she hesitated to disclose the truth. As pressure mounted, Daisy experienced a panic attack, prompting Jay's father to insist on taking her to the hospital. Refusing this, Jay eventually revealed the truth. He worked as a janitor in the mental hospital, and Daisy was a patient there. This revelation angered Jay's father, leading Jay and Daisy to abruptly leave the wedding. Unable to take a flight due to Daisy's condition, Jay reluctantly drove his father's new car back to Los Angeles. Throughout the journey, Daisy remained in awe of the car, expressing her amazement and chatting incessantly. This added more stress to Jay's already overwhelmed state, leading him to make a rash decision to leave Daisy at the station. Promising to call for help, Jay departed, intending to sell the car, but was thwarted when suspicions arose about its origins, leaving him stranded. While driving, Jay received a call from Dr. Bartleman, expressing anger over Daisy's disappearance, but Jay, consumed by frustration, abruptly ended the call. As he glanced at Daisy's abandoned shoes in his car, guilt washed over him, prompting him to retrace his steps. Meanwhile, Daisy faithfully waited at the station until nightfall, declining offers of assistance from a security guard. Eventually, feeling abandoned, she sought help from the guard to return home, only to be surprised by Jay's return, evoking tears of relief. The following day, Jay accompanied Daisy to a supermarket but stepped outside to smoke. Upon spotting a police car, he hurried inside to retrieve Daisy, triggering a pursuit. Successfully evading the police on the highway, Jay decided to stop for a rest as Daisy couldn't drive. Shortly after, Daisy woke Jay as a police car approached. Jay quickly hid upon seeing the police, who then inspected their car but found nothing incriminating. Failing to locate Jay, the police decided to search the forest. Daisy informed Jay about the police's pursuit and discreetly disposed of the car keys before they departed. Arriving at a campsite, they decided to blend in with the crowd. Later, Jay, unable to sleep, confided in Daisy about the rumors surrounding him being a womanizer. Jay admitted to some of the accusations, explaining his desperate need for money before drifting off to sleep. Continuing their journey, they stop at a gas station where Jay attempted to teach Daisy to drive, despite her protests. Meanwhile, Dr. Brillman called, expressing concern over Daisy's absence. Jay reassured him, but Daisy overheard, leading to a heated confrontation where she damaged the car in frustration. Seeking refuge in a restaurant, Daisy shared her troubled past, recounting how she was haunted by her mother's screams before her sudden death and subsequent hospitalization. Terrified of returning, Daisy begged Jay not to take her back. Promising to protect her, Jay vowed to keep her safe. Meanwhile, the police, tracking Jay's movements, arrived at their location and apprehended him. The news of Jay's arrest reached his mother, leaving her furious and disappointed with his father for reporting their son. Witnessing his wife's reaction, Jay's father grew contemplative. The following day, Jay was released from prison, bewildered by who had bailed him out, only to realize it was his parents. Returning to his apartment, Jay was shocked to find it vandalized, with Vincent's men waiting outside. Fleeing to the hospital for safety, he was blocked by Dr. Bartleman, leaving him feeling hopeless. Jay, drained of enthusiasm for life, attempted to end it on train tracks, but was stopped by a vigilant officer who intervened and called for help. Dr. Berlin arranged for Jay's rehabilitation, during which Jay pleaded for Daisy's release, convinced of her sanity. Dr. Berlin, confused by Daisy's story, apologized to Jay for the misunderstanding. It was revealed that Daisy's mother, not Daisy, had schizophrenia. Days later, Daisy, cleared of any mental illness, bid farewell to the hospital and its residents, especially Dr. Berlin, who had supported her. Jay received a letter from his father, containing money to clear his debts and an invitation to return home. Rushing to reunite with Daisy, they embraced, marking a new chapter in their lives as they left the hospital together, symbolizing a fresh start and the conclusion of their journey in the movie. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon to not miss any future videos.